Welcome back, fourth graders. Honey Rose is busy in the Southeast region. She's been traveling, exploring different parts of the Southeast, mostly Florida at this point. She's sent back information about other parts of the Southeast, but right now she's been traveling along the coast of Florida, coming up from the Everglades, and she drove all the way up to Cape Canaveral. And yesterday you saw her send a video from Cape Canaveral. She was just parking her car, looked like, and was probably going to be exploring then the Kennedy Space Center. Oh, wait a minute, fourth graders. I'm just getting a text from Honey Rose. Looks like she has, oh cool, she has a video of a rocket launch that just took place. She wants you to see it. So here, let me pull that up for you.
2 minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Station propulsion is nominal. Vehicle pitching down range.
Hi, fourth graders! Wow, did you see that? They launched another satellite up into space from the Kennedy Space Center.
7 seconds after that, the upper stage
So cool!
to propel us.
Here's some other pictures that Honey Rose sent from Kennedy Space Center. You see that blue NASA symbol. That's something we'll talk about later. So as you listen along today about the Southeast, you may want to take some notes. My class is going to be adding some notes onto their page in their notebooks. I know Mr. Van Horn has a lot of notes as well about this region. But as you listen along, maybe try to keep track of a few things, like maybe 3 things that you learned or 3 things that you found out about the Southeast as we read on about the Kennedy Space Center today. Since Honey Rose is down at Kennedy Space Center today near Orlando, Florida, watching rocket launches and having fun looking at all kinds of old rocket ships, I thought it'd be good for us to read a little bit about Kennedy Space Center. And here we see those letters. Honey Rose sent those pictures, and I said we keep track of these letters, NASA, NASA, because NASA is something that goes along with our space program, talking about space centers across the USA. So we'll find out about what is NASA in this reading. So let's start. In 1957, wow, that's a long time ago. You think that space and the space exploration programs would be something recent, but look at how long back this goes. In 1957, as tensions between the Soviet Union, the Soviet Union isn't even around anymore. We think of that now kind of as Russia. It broke up into all kinds of other countries, smaller countries. So the Soviet Union or Russia and the United States grew. The Soviet Union launched a satellite named Sputnik into space. It was the first satellite ever launched into orbit. This marked a huge milestone for humankind and for the Soviets. Many Americans felt it was crucial for the United States to catch up to the Soviet Union in space technology. President Eisenhower agreed. That's how far back it goes. It was back in the time of President Eisenhower agreed. In 1958, the president created the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA. There you have it. That's what it stands for. The National Aeronautics, A, that's like space, and Space, S, Administration. Aeronautics is like flying planes and rocket ships, and space, there's the S and then the A of administration, which makes NASA. NASA created space centers all over the country. Each space center had a special role to play in supporting NASA's space missions and research. And each space center is still doing important work today. All these space centers support NASA's space missions. But where do NASA spacecraft actually launch into space? For that purpose, NASA founded its spaceport in Cape Canaveral, Florida. So that's where Honey Rose is. She's actually at the launching spot. have founded its space port, they call it, in Cape Canaveral. Look at how long ago, though, 1961 again. Cape Canaveral's spaceport's most famous launch happened in 1969. On July 20, 1969, almost all of America was watching as the Apollo 11 spacecraft launched from Cape Canaveral with 3 astronauts aboard that landed on the moon. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin were the first humans to walk on the moon. Michael Collins orbited above in the command ship Columbia. This achievement made the U.S. the first country to put a man on the moon. Decades later, Cape Canaveral is still one of the country's centers for technology and the home to one of the world's most important space ports. So that's where Honey Rose is. She's at Cape Canaveral, which is where the Kennedy Space Center is, and that's where the launching pad is for almost all these spacecraft that get launched off into space. Even though competition between countries inspired the U.S. government to start NASA, today countries work together in space. Space agencies from the U.S., Europe, Russia, Japan, and China all came together to build the International Space Station, the ISS, from 1998 to 2000. And since then, astronauts from, look at that, 19 countries have visited the ISS, or the International Space Station. And that's just floating out there right now, orbiting the Earth. And astronauts from all these countries are going there and landing and doing research. They hook up to the space station and then they walk on board. And scientists from around the world have collaborated in the ISS Science Laboratory to research technology, physical science, and life science in space. All of NASA's space centers have worked together to make this space travel and research possible. Well, on your Canvas page, there's going to be an assignment that goes along with this article, this page, actually, I should say, that was about the Kennedy Space Center. The questions that it asks will not only come from maybe this drawing over here in this map, but from this information on this side, and it might even be some questions that come from our lesson today. So take your time, look through it, answer it the best you can. And then as we find out about the Kennedy Space Center and about the space program and how long that's been going on here. Remember we said it was all the way back in the 60s? It says here, Kennedy Space Center opened in 1962. We've been at this for a long time. And so it makes sense that people are starting to ask those next questions. Things like, should we send astronauts to Mars? Great question. In fact, there was recently a rover that was sent to the planet Mars, and some of you may have seen that on the news. It sent back pictures and information about the planet. That rover, Perseverance, we're going to start to look at that and find out more about it as well in the coming days. And Honey Rose, of course, will continue her vacation. I'm sure there'll be more postcards and things being sent from her trip as well, but just to give you an idea of where we're going to be going next, our lesson will go into this whole area of Mars and future explorations. Since we know now that it's been around for so long, I guess this would be the logical next step, sending astronauts further and further away out into our solar system. Well, good luck with your assignment today, and we will see you again tomorrow.